Where are you getting all that pavement? That's looking pretty nice.
It does look good.
Okay. Okay, number 10 is correspondence and administration.
I just have a couple things. I'll jump in here if you don't mind. Just so everybody knows, the Oxford plan is finally recorded. Took 4 months, but it's on record.
11 months.
Well, no, to get the plan.
Oh, 4 months to get,
Yeah, I got the plan, it's on record, that's a done deal, and so is the covenant, so everything is done with that one, so that's all set. I haven't heard anything. I know Mark Raffam came to the, you weren't here, Mark, but he came to the meeting last month. He was gonna bring some proposals to the board. I've heard nothing, so just so you're updated on that, about the camping and so forth, and changing the ordinance and all that stuff. I've heard nothing, and I thought he was gonna bring something to this meeting, but I haven't heard anything. The other item, I had a gentleman visit me last week named Tom Francos. He's a builder from Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And he wanted to find out if he could build 2 homes on 1 lot that's less than a 2-acre requirement for workforce housing. Thank you, my brain's like. He wanted to come and meet with you to find out if he could do it or not. And I said, well, have you bought any property? No. I said, okay. First he was talking about going to the zoning board, and I said, you can't see the zoning board unless you have an application, and yeah, no, so that's not gonna happen. So then he said, well, coming to you, he was thinking he could come meet with you, see if you would allow it. And we have a section in there about workforce housing, so I don't think we've done it yet here. This is probably my first go around on that too. And he said he would come possibly to the August meeting and bring a site plan of his proposal of what he wants to do. But he wants somebody to tell him if he can do it or not. And I'm like, well, it depends on what property, where you buy property. I mean, so he was very adamant. He met with Bob, and then Bob brought him out to me, and
Is it feasible if you have a 2-acre lot, you could build a home, a single-family home,
Yeah.
and then also have an accessory dwelling unit that's not connected to that home?
I don't know.
You can't.
yeah, you could do a house and an accessory dwelling unit.
Absolutely. According to the current rules, as long as the septic plan is up to date, or you have the septic.
Right.
So it would be 2 properties sold? Because that's what I think he's trying to do.
You can't do that.
That's what I think he's trying to do.
Right.
He's
Yeah.
trying to
And you can't condominiumize it.
build, but our workforce housing section allows for some less than 2 acres and so forth, so you may want to,
Was that in certain
Update.
districts that there could be?
I'd have to pull it back up. I read through it real quick, and I'm just putting on notice, he may come.
Okay.
And he called me too, so he's been very adamant. He's a builder, so he's
There's
built.
still a couple hundred sub-sized lots in Edelweiss.
Oh, maybe that's where he's, I don't know. He didn't say, he had no idea where he was even gonna buy property. But he wanted to make sure, he wanted to come meet with somebody, have somebody tell him he can do it. And I said, well, that depends on where you buy, what you're doing, there's a lot of factors on that.
Yeah. Slope and wetlands.
Yeah, so I just wanted to bring that up to you ahead of time, just so everybody's on.
Well, initially zoning would govern. And then it'd have to
Well,
go
he
from
can't
there.
come to the zoning without owning a piece of property and can't fill out an
Right,
application.
but I'm just saying zoning would govern the, what he can do.
Right.
I mean, you have to have 2 acres. You can't put 2 separate residences on a lot.
I thought I read in the workforce housing section that planning board can make decisions on what he can do as far as plans and so forth. We'll have to revisit that.
Yeah.
I
I don't think
remember
we've
years
done one
ago.
yet here, so I was hoping we
I
could.
do remember years ago discussing some things for workforce housing, but I don't remember anything.
Yeah,
That would
voted on or
allow a
covered.
substandard lot. Yeah.
Right.
I'll send you all the section that I read, and then you at least have it, so that if he does show up at the August, I told him if he wants to come to the meeting, he needs to let me know ahead of time so I can put him on the agenda. So if he does want to come, I'll send you all the section that talks about workforce housing, and at least you'll have something to go by and not be sitting there
Okay,
going blind.
yep.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay. That's it for me.
And you handed me this release of notice of performance guarantee for Benfield Hollow.
Yes.
And it says pursuant to the provisions of the notice of performance guarantee agreement dated September 2nd, 2004, and recorded Carroll County Registry of Deed on September 20th, 2004, and book 232, 2340, page 411, between Norja Inc., having a mailing address of 10 Whitten Lane, Madison, New Hampshire, and Madison Planning Board having a mailing address of blah, and the state of New Hampshire, Norja Inc. has satisfied the terms of said agreement. And so what we're being asked to do is formally release the notice of performance. And so I'd entertain a motion, things we've taken over the road.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we accept this
I'll
and
second it.
execute the letter.
Motion is made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And the ayes have it.
I'll get it recorded. That's the last thing. That was the thing I talked to you about, Mark, that I read in that we need to do that. So
Yep.
I've been holding on to it for a while because I was waiting for the roads to happen. Thank you very much.
Let's see, what else we have here is Young update on Coleman site visit.
Right.
And it's my understanding we're going to go into non-public.
That will be all.
Oh, that's your job. And you're gonna kick me out.
Yeah.
But you can't go yet because
Oh.
we have to talk about it during public session, but you have to go here.
Oh, okay.
And then we have to talk about in the public session, you're gonna have to answer, are there any trucks that are seen on the lot? Are there any recent pictures taken? Things like that, so we need you to come over here.
So I need
You need
to,
to come over here, on this side of the fence.
okay.
And then you gotta pass it over to your neighbor.
Because we're talking about this and I'm the abutter, I am formally sitting down.
Yes,
And you'll be the new chair.
okay.
Thank you.
We'll entertain a motion to go into non-public session.
Hold it, wait a minute, no, you gotta still ask him in public about those questions. In public session. The facts, supporting the board's concerns, so.
Okay, before we go into non-public, there are some items that we have to review. And is that in the letter, Kate?
Yes, so basically, you have to have some proof of, so we're gonna let you
Okay.
tell them. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm taking over the meeting. You tell them what you know, or don't know, or about what's going on, or,
Okay. Well, this is, I am an abutter to this lot, but,
And identify yourself, please.
and I am Mark Olson. And I'm an abutter to this site, and it is along the Skidoo Trail. And I run the Skidoo Trail on a regular basis, so I visit that site several times a week. And it appears that Coleman has entered the lot that he bought from Russell Kennett, probably 7 or 8 years ago at this point, which is in rural residential and in current use forestry. And he's excavated quite a little swath of it that if you have Apple Maps, you can see on your Apple Maps.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's extended his gravel pit, his rock quarry, into a lot that he has no excavation, gravel ordinance and permit, or in its rural residential as well, so it's not commercial.
On this block that he's doing this work, do you have any evidence? Do you have any pictures or anything like that?
I have taken pictures, yes.
You have, okay.
Yep.
And will you be submitting those as some backup for the committee?
Yeah, I can present.
Okay.
I mean, is it really difficult to look at the boundary lines of?
No, the boundary is clearly marked, or was clearly marked, except where he removed it.
So there was a boundary that was removed
Yeah.
from there to identify, so you can't specifically identify it if a non-abutter went up and looked at it.
Yeah, yeah, you can see that his common corner with me, which is new, it was surveyed a couple of years ago, and then the portion of the other side of his lot is the bypass corridor,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a couple big oak trees that are clearly painted, that you can clearly see where that line was.
Okay. With that being said, and hearing that information, we should enter into non-public.
We need a
And you have to
motion.
read the, Paul,
And
read the non-public session for the RSA. Read the RSA.
motion to enter non-public session. Chairman Paul Marks made a motion to go into non-public session per RSA 91-A:311 and read aloud the entire section. Request a roll call vote of the members.
Hold on a second, gotta read the so you read the RSA, okay, and it's L actually, that's its lowercase l, and you have to read the consideration of legal advice, you have to read why you're going into non-public session. I should probably sit up there with you.
According to RSA 91-A:3LL, parentheses 1,
Well, it's an L, okay.
consideration of legal advice provided by legal counsel, either in writing or orally, to one or more of the members of the public body, even where legal counsel is not present. We'll entertain a roll call vote.
Just need a second on the motion.